I want to tell you a story about a dog. What's that got to do with LTV, lifetime value? Well, maybe you'll see the connection. Now, this is a joke, a funny one, I think. I'm going to tell it. I'm not a very good joke teller, but here goes. One time there was a salesman in rural, we'll call it Alabama. There's a lot of rurals here. I'm from Alabama. And he was going from door to door trying to sell things, having a rough time, as we often do in sales. And he ran out of gas or was running out of gas. He pulled into a gas station. So he's getting his gas and he sees a sign, talking dog for sale, $20. He said, this has got to be a joke. So he talks to the owner of the gas station, says, what is this, a joke? He goes, no, go around back, check it out yourself. So the salesperson goes around the back of the gas station. There's this cage. There's this German Shepherd. And there's this sign, talking dog, $20. He goes, this is the biggest job. I'm a fool for even thinking about this. So he humors the dog, I guess. Can you talk? Yes, I can, says the dog. What? What in the world? Say something else. Would you like it in German or English? The dog says. This is amazing. So he starts a conversation with the dog. How in the world did you get here? Dog says, well, it's a long story, but I'll cut it short. I used to be in the military dog. And the generals would take me with them when they had a consultation or diplomatic relations with these even enemy countries, North Korea, Russia, other places. They would take me along with them as like a guard dog. And so they would have their conversations, and things may not be going so good, or you wasn't sure whether they were telling you the truth or not. So we had a plan that the general, whoever it was, would leave and say, well, I've got to go to the bathroom, for some excuse to get away. But he would leave me there, and I would listen. And I would find out if they were telling the truth or not. I was very valuable to that general. So he would come back and politely dismiss himself, and then we'd get together and we'd talk about it. This was true, that was false. And then they would make their plans based on my observations on what they would do in the future. That was my job. But then there came along this thing called the Cold War, where nobody talks to each other. They're cold to each other. So I lost my job. And here I am, back of a gas station, in a cage, being sold for $20. The man said, I've got to talk to the owner about this. He runs back in. He says, this is incredible. $20 for a dog like that? He says, yes, because I'm going to be honest with you. There's one problem. He lies. So the point is, the owner misjudged the value of what he had right there. Many times business owners do the same thing. There's a thing called LTV. and it's called lifetime value. Now, in the mortgage business means loan to value, and that estimates risk. If you've got a high LTV, that means your loan is as high as the sale, probably 100%. That's a high risk loan. You have to take in other factors. But anyway, in the business world, they call it a lifetime value. And so you've got to try to figure that out, because a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to spend money on marketing to sell a $10 lunch. That doesn't make any sense. I've got enough customers here, even though I'm half full. But what they're not looking at is the lifetime value of each customer. Yeah, he's buying a $10 lunch, but if he comes once a week, that's 52 lunches. If he's with you for 10 years, that's 520 lunches. That's $5,200. And so his lifetime value is somewhere a little bit less than that, maybe, say $4,000. Are you willing to spend a few bucks to keep that $4,000 customer? That's their value, not $10. That's cheap. But if they keep coming back. So now some restaurants, that is $10 is crazy low. What's that French Laundry restaurant out in California where this guy went, and it was during COVID, and he didn't have a mask on, and he was there and wasn't supposed to be there, but everybody else was. You remember that? Okay, I forgot his name, but anyway, their lunches and dinners could be $400 to $500. Oh, so their lifetime value is way above the $10 lunch that my friend here was talking about. So you see, everyone's different, but each business should try to figure out what's the lifetime value. And then when you're spending money on marketing, you're not looking at the $10. You're looking at the 4,000. How does this compare to if I get 4,000 back over a period of time? And it's like a seesaw. Now you're behind the curve if you spend a lot of money up front, but at the halfway mark, you're even, and then it keeps going down, then you make it that gap and your profit gets bigger and bigger. So it's not we wait 10 years to get our return back. You're on the seesaw. Now you're upside down a little bit, and that's understandable, but you're still going to be getting that money every month, every month, every month. And then that's going to go right down here to zero. And then if they stay with you after that, oh boy, you're making money. You're making money. So lifetime value, that dog had a lifetime value incalculable if it was true. And so that's what we have to do. Now, here's the argument. Say you're in a restaurant. Well, I've got 200 seats, and 200 seats are full every day. How are you going to help me? How are you going to help them? You know what you're going to tell them? Raise your prices. You're cheating yourself. If there's so much demand here, then you are putting a low value on your food and service. You've got something going here. And if nobody's leaving, so you got to raise your prices until somebody starts to leave. Does that make sense? Then we'll help you replace those. Because if you've got this good, then you'll need a little marketing there. So you're cutting yourself short by allowing them to be full, have a waiting list, and running customers off. That creates bad will sometimes. Don't you think that would make more sense? All right, let me ask you this. If you could make more money on less customers, would that be good? Would that be a good business decision? I think so. Don't you? Yeah. So let's raise those prices. This is my advice. You can try it until there's some seats open. And then we'll help you fill those seats with our call capture and our remarketing to those ones that we've captured. You can ask them to enroll in your loyalty program. Just all we need your cell phone number here. Don't ask for a lot because we don't need a lot. Then we put a nice picture of that beautiful lunch on there at lunchtime and send it to them. Oh, buddy. Then you might have to add on to your restaurant. You don't want to be like the man in the Bible that had the storehouse is full and then he died. But if you're a young person, you may not have to worry about that. Just keep going, keep it under control where it doesn't run your life totally. I think that's a good idea, don't you? Well, I hope you like the story about the dog. I got another one I'm going to try to put out about a person that had a speech impediment. It's not what you think. We're not going to, I'm very sympathetic to people that have disabilities, but sometimes a disability is actually an ability. And this person I want to talk about in the future was the greatest with his disability. It was such an asset. You would not believe. So stay tuned. And as always, we want to close our video with saying thank you, first of all. But we appreciate those that are about to sell. We salute you because it's not easy. Thank you for watching our video today.